The United States President. I spoke to the President on Friday. He just said to me, is this how you treat your best ally?
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
President Trump, of course, is known as the Peace President, but the new key fired at the BBC on Friday night has now landed, and it sparks the resignation of Davey and Turness at the BBC.
Breaking, Donald Trump just sent a $1 billion legal bombshell straight into the BBC. In one letter, he accused Britain's most powerful broadcast of fabricating reality and gave them until Friday 10 p.m. to confess or collapse. The Prime Minister, silent. The BBC, panicking. And 22 million British households could end up paying the price for their lies. This is not just a lawsuit, it is an indictment of an entire nation's truth. Because when truth becomes an edit, democracy becomes theatre. Downing Street holds its breath, not one word, not one motion, because they know silence is safer than truth. Trump's demand didn't hit a newsroom, it hit the system. If the BBC forged reality, it wasn't journalism, it was permission. For 102 years, the BBC has claimed to be the conscience of Britain, a network of 20,950 employees, financed by a compulsory licence of £169 per home each year. Money taken in the name of truth. Number 10 isn't protecting the BBC, it's protecting itself, because if that edit was ordered, the fingerprints won't stop at Broadcasting House, they'll stain the Prime Minister's desk. This isn't silence out of respect, it's silence out of panic, and Britain can hear it. The anger has erupted, the lie was the match, betrayal the fuel. Because while the BBC edits presidents, Britain edits its own people.
We are spending too much on our asylum seekers and not enough on our own people. Now, I do wonder if poor people in this country or homeless military veterans would get better treatment if they travelled to Calais, got in a dinghy and were picked up in the Channel by the RNLI.
Outside in Birmingham, veterans sleep beneath torn tarps. Inside in Southampton, migrants dine under chandeliers paid for by £2.4 billion from the public purse. The government calls it compassion. The people call it treason. Then came the voice the establishment fears most, Nigel Farage. His words cut through the spin like a blade. You build palaces for strangers and prisons for patriots. Applause thundered. Because in that moment, he said what the whole nation was thinking. Across the Atlantic, Trump did not question, he judged. A country that censors truth cannot lead the free world. No diplomacy, only a verdict heard from Washington to Westminster. Two storms now move as one, the British street and the American blast. At their centre stands a truth too heavy to bury. The rot was never just in a newsroom. It lived in the government that let it happen, dressed it as compassion, and sold it as policy. But no slogan can wash the stain of betrayal. This is not politics anymore, it is a reckoning, and the people are done whispering. The roar of the crowd has not faded, it has found a name, not the BBC, not the officials, but the man in number 10, the man who let it all happen. He didn't lie, he managed lies, he didn't order repression, he orchestrated silence. Every newspaper, every speech, every apology was calculated like a £412 million campaign in government communications. When the BBC bowed, he didn't flinch, because he knew every pointing finger would stop before reaching his door. No one knocked, no one asked, and he mistook that fear for power. But real power doesn't live at Downing Street. It burns in the people, those who no longer believe a single microphone in this country. Now, outside Parliament, more than 100,000 voices rise as one. Each chant want a verdict written in smoke and fury. A traitor. Britain isn't falling because of war, but because of deceit. And history will not ask why he lied. It will ask, why did he think he could get away with it? The mask slipped when paperwork met reality. Not outrage. Evidence. A leaked 19-page memo, over 500 formal complaints acknowledged, 2 senior resignations in one weekend, and a charter renewal clock ticking toward 2027.
We've hit 260,000 members. Thank you, everybody. You're all part of the People's Army. You're out there spreading the message, and we are growing fast. And very soon, we'll be the biggest party in the country.
Thank you, and don't forget to like, share, comment, follow, and subscribe for more news updates and information that can help you on your day-to-day life. See you in my next update.